Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in this Best of series between Yumiko and Th000. And all I gotta say is I think Yumiko let Game 1 get away from him. We are gonna be speeding things up just a bit for Game number 2 as the Archmage vs. Archmage battle is once again on its way. Game 2 taking place here on Tyrannus Stand as we are looking at Yumiko on the top left-hand side of the map, meanwhile Th000 on the bottom right. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. Some easy creeping as the Renegade Wizard going to quickly get taken out. There it goes, cause of attack +6. Archmage going to pick that up, deal a little bit more damage, trying its best to be an agility hero. Meanwhile, Yumiko going to go ahead and finish off some Apprentice Wizards himself and pretty much enjoy some just comfort at level 2. Tome of Agility, Ring of Protection +2, perhaps not the better of the two items, as the Archmage does take a bit of damage, but having an Archmage here deal about, 20% more damage per attack, very effective, as opposed to just to say the 10% damage mitigation of 2 armor. Now, Archmage making its rounds, gonna go ahead and head over here to the mercenary camp, pick up perhaps a Troll Shadow Priest, as we see a quick footman running inside here and taking a fair bit of damage, already down to 253 hit points, as the Archmage now going to come in. This creep camp in particular has been very difficult to clear out for anyone that isn't a human army. The reason why human armies can generally take down this army faster than, say, an orc army is the amount of slow on this creep camp. 4 of the 5 creep camps here can actually cast slow, and because of that, that means that 8 of your units will normally be slowed in this fight. However, with the help of militia, those militia can absorb a couple of slows as well, as opposed to, say, orcs, who end up having a slowed Blade Master and 3 slowed grunts throughout the entire creeping. Alright, Yumiko quickly taking out this level 311 creep camp here, gonna really now make its way back north. Meanwhile, the Archmage going after a 311 creep camp in a different location, hoping to put a little bit more pressure down on his opponent. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 was picked up here, and we may see Boots of Speed picked up and the selling of the Slippers of Agility and Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. That's exactly what happened here, as the Archmage, is it going to try to clear out this creep camp? I would be rather surprised if that happens, as we now see a battle off to the north. Here we go, Yumiko losing his Water Elemental very quickly due to the Troll Shadow Priest joining in and getting in a little bit of Abolish magic there, as it looks like Yumiko's Archmage never really got the memo to do exactly that. Alright, if the Archmage of Yumiko can steal mana from the Archmage of Th000, this could be a completely different battle, as the units are now rushing on in. Oh, the steal did not happen fast enough. Let's go ahead, and if you just steal the mana now, that would actually be perfect, as it would almost give Yumiko level or another Water Elemental. That would be the perfect time to do it. If he ever decides to do it, now would be the time. No, does not do it, as we see another unit now running back off to the north. Without, I repeat, without Boots of Speed, going to be very hard, as we are now looking at a couple of easy units falling over. Alright, Yumiko going to lose perhaps a Troll Berserker if he is not careful. No, going to run away with it, and it looks like he will end up saving the... Nope, it looks like the Archmage does end up getting his kill in there. A little bit of a lucky kill, had to be on the very high end. 39 damage, or 37 to 39 damage would have killed that target even with the +1 armor, as we are now looking at both sides still fighting back again. Alright, there goes another Water Elemental there. If you guys can't tell the difference between teal and blue, I am apologizing. That's just the colors that they decided to choose. Alright, Troll Berserker taking a lot of damage here. It looks like a footman's going to get caught and stuck behind a Water Elemental. Why you can't walk through a Water Elemental, I am not quite sure. But then again, if you can ensnare a Water Elemental, then I guess you can't walk through one. Back down over here, Archmage. Water Elemental is now heading off to the north. You see Footman and the Troll Shadow Priest making its way over as well. And you can also see the Troll Shadow Priest here wants to abolish magic this water elemental, but it pretty much knows that it's not going to be happening anytime shortly. All right, Troll Shadow Priest taking a bit more damage. Gonna get focused down by that water elemental. I guess the water elemental said, "You killed my brethren, now I want to take you down." So far, Mountain King does come into play. A poor footman makes it back inside his base only to get taken out as we see a Staff of Teleportation come in. Mountain King will not be able to finish off that one unit there, so instead going to be going after all of the units he left behind. Oh, a beautiful deny as the water elemental turns around and gets the kill instead. Very, very strong human versus human matchup play here. A lot of good micro and a lot of good just map awareness. As we're now moving on to tier 2 units, we are going to be going into the Arcane Sanctums and Arcane Sanctum and Lumber Mill off to the north. Yumiko still only sitting on 1 Arcane Sanctum and still does not have an Arcane Vault. Meanwhile, off to the north here, you can see a farm is going to get taken out, and I'm not quite sure why the Troll Shadow Priest is not healing that Archmage instead. That's really what it should be doing, especially when it is currently sitting at max mana. All right, there you go. Goblin Zeppelin ready to unload here, but there are 2 Arcane Towers. That is not a good spot to be in. As you can see, the towers are just going to be taking a lot of damage. All right, there goes 1 Water Elemental. Peasant does get taken out. Archmage now dropped into play. It is taking a bit of damage as now the Goblin Zeppelin needs to be pulled back. Footmen are engaging. A couple more Peasants will get taken down. Arcane Towers could be finishing off that Water Elemental here. Oh, should have attacked a different building instead in order to get a bit of experience. So, as we're looking, Yumiko does have the Troll Shadow Priest. It is still sitting back. Yumiko also making his way down to the 6 o'clock Goblin Merchant Shop, hoping to clear out this and perhaps at least try and get to level 2 on this Mountain King. Getting some additional new items here. The Sasquatch will end up falling. No big surprise. And a Wand of Lightning Shield and a Manual of Health. No real help there. Off to the north, you see creeping going on as well. Archmage does have a Staff of Teleportation, as you recall earlier, as the Mountain King now going to be joining in on the fight. Th000's Mountain King, however, is a bit behind in the race of experience, as the Mountain King of Yumiko almost at level 2 already. Archmage dropping some Water Elementals. There you have it, as the Renegade Wizard will get taken down. Level 2 now on that Mountain King. Devotion Aura +1 armor for all the units. An additional, essentially, 6 health for every unit under its care. Alright, Mountain King gonna finish up this creep camp, no problem. Very interesting that both sides are creeping the same exact creep camps while on the opposite side of the map. That's not something you see very often. But really no surprise here, as both of them probably have a good idea of where the other is at, even though they haven't spotted each other yet. Just by the number of creep camps that are left. You can see the main orange creep camps have all been taken down. Only a handful of minor creep camps are left, as an assassin now is just spreading around that poison damage. Mountain King getting to level 3 for Yumiko. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, Goblin Zeppelin coming in, and oh, what is going to be happening here? A poor footman actually dropped behind the trees, as there are a whole bunch of casters here. All right, Priest need to be extremely careful as they are now falling back. Mountain King comes in, Stormbolt onto the Priest. Priest now trying to stay alive. Looks like it will get taken down by a Water Elemental. A lot of just tight, close corridors back over here as the Archmage and the Mountain King have really nowhere to run. Mountain King now continuing this fight here. Dispel Magic, Lightning Shield, Thunderclap onto the Mountain King. And this Mountain King gonna deal a lot of damage to all of these poor unsuspecting peasants. Alright, actually being forced to pull away with a handful of units. As you can see, the Archmage is now into the front here to try and protect the base. Alright, it looks like there is one Mountain King fighting against a militia. That is a just uphill battle if I ever saw one. And now the Mountain King finally taking a little bit of damage here as the footman is of Yumiko gonna get taken out. Though in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to save his unit? No, he is not. That Mountain King does end up falling as the Zeppelin was already down to 19 hit points and could not afford to lose anymore. Th000 is sitting at 50 over 54, resurrecting that Mountain King. Archmage using a Clarity Potion and going to get healed up. You can see that the Zeppelin needs to be repaired and will be repaired momentarily. Yumiko seems to have a bit of the advantage, even though he is behind in terms of supply. I think he has higher levels, level 4, level 3, compared to a level 4, level 2. And now this Archmage is going to be losing this creep camp on the top right here. All right, Mountain King, still seeing that level 3. Archmage wants to get to level 5. Odd level heroes are odd level levels are better than even levels in terms of just balance. All right, Mountain King gonna back off. Archmage sitting at level 4, trying to get to level 5 here. More mana, more water elementals, more healing, and more slow if it ever does come to that, as we are looking at the Archmage over here doing the same exact thing for Th000. Th000 creeping away from that Mountain King a little bit, pretty much out of necessity, as the Mountain King just now got resurrected. The problem, this looks to be a repeat of the previous game. The expansion is already coming in from Th000. Meanwhile, Yumiko has yet to start it. Without the expansion, the economic disparity between these two teams is just going to be the difference in payroll for what? The New York Giants and... No, not New York Giants, New York Yankees and Florida Marlins. How's that? How's that for a random reference in other sports? It took me a second to come up with that one, and it shouldn't have at all. Anyways, Water Elemental is being dropped here to try and prevent any expansion, and that was rather a rather cute play. Yumiko and Th000 have very, very similar playstyles, and perhaps Yumiko or Th000 knew that an expansion should be coming in right about now. Let me drop in Water Elementals with timed life, and that should be just enough to delay the expansion, and that's exactly what happened. Now, all the Archmage needs to do is sit here and monitor whether or not there is an expansion here. Once there is an expansion there, then he finally needs to move out. All of the other creep camps have been crept. Well, I guess he needs to monitor this creep or this base and this base as well. But as long as he knows that his income is higher than his opponent, he can just start buying mass items and letting the items do the talking. Scrolls of healing, scrolls of protection, potions of healing, all of those things do eventually add up. As you see, a little bit of damage already coming into play there. All right, Stormbolt onto a Priest, Stormbolt onto a Mountain King. Both of them taking a fair bit of damage. Mountain King running very, very far inside and now in a very difficult spot, but has the potion of invulnerability. That Mountain King really, really knows how to stretch his life, as the Goblin Zeppelin comes to pick him up right as he is about to fall. All right, beautifully done micro by Yumiko. Yumiko picking up the Troll Berserkers that were all on the front line and backing off again. Priests are now coming in to reinforce as a Stormbolt does go down, and Yumiko now sitting at level 4. Level 5 on the Archmage, level 4 against a level 5 and I believe a level 2. Yes, a 5 and a level 2. This is still some disparity between these armies, and if Yumiko can prolong the next fight, preventing the Mountain King to get to level 3, things will just go from bad to worse. Mountain King does have a good bit of mana, and if it does get to level 3, we'll have enough for 225 damage Stormbolts. Goblin Zeppelin now backing off. Towers are being added. It looks like one scout tower was finished. Abolish Magic now coming into play as the Goblin Shredder now looking to clear out this location here. Perhaps repairing some of this location would be good. All right, Battle of the Two Bridges as we now look at the Mountain King sitting at level 2. All right, this Mountain King now poses a clear and present danger to the rest of these units here if you are not very careful. Spellbreakers in that front line because they can be, but the Ogre Mauler does deal a lot of damage to those Spellbreakers. Stormbolt across the side. Mountain King does not have enough mana though, as it looks like he's been taking a lot of damage by those Spellbreakers, depleting much of that mana. Meanwhile, the Mountain King of of Th000 really getting in there and still has a good bit of mana. This is actually rather scary, as because of the Mountain King and the amount of mana, he's been able to get off Stormbolt after Stormbolt against the Mountain King himself. Mountain King needs to get some mana finally up there. And is he gonna... Oh, gets another Stormbolt for his efforts and then loses the mana. Or almost lost all the mana for another Stormbolt again. Mountain King, Stormbolts down the Ogre Mauler. Ogre Mauler looks like it will fall. The Ogre Mauler is the big danger. Oh, picked up by the Goblin Zeppelin, and now perhaps gonna be healed up even further. All right, just walking around now. Can't really engage in any fights. The Ogre Mauler wants to attack, but doesn't want to just give any free experience, and he's finally now engaging once more. All right, Priest doing a lot of work healing up this Ogre Mauler. Ogre Mauler jumps inside the Zeppelin knowing he cannot do any more good there. Spellbreaker after Spellbreaker is falling. Priest now falling on both sides, as we're perhaps going to get to level 6 on one, if not both of these heroes. Archmages, both sitting at level 5, just a little bit more to level 6, and we are still engaging in these crazy battles. Supply count 48 over 66 compared to 68 over 72. Th000 with the definite advantage now, going after Yumiko's towers. One tower down, one tower left. As we're looking at the Mountain King come from behind and perhaps get off another Stormbolt, this time on the Troll Shadow Priest. Mountain King sitting at level 4. If it can get to level 5 and stay at a very high level, then Yumiko should be golden once again. Mountain King getting, however, a lot of mana drained by those Spellbreakers, as the Mountain King of Th000 now sitting at level 4. All right, level 4 versus level 4 Mountain King, both of them most likely with Bash, as they are still fighting here. All right, Spellbreaker gonna get taken down. Archmage gets up to level 6, and I think Mass Teleport is in order, unless we see level 3 Brilliance Aura. There is the Mass Teleport, not wanting to stick around in this fight, able to teleport away. Archmage still looking pretty strong. Ogre Mauler needs to be moved off to the north, in addition to a couple of priests. Not quite sure why these units are not moving. There you go, finally making a little bit of room. The Ogre Mauler is a large unit, I think as large as a hero, in fact, as the Mountain King with Rune Bracers is really not a very good Stormbolt target any longer. That's perhaps one of the reasons why Th000 has been able to make up so much ground. 75 over 78 compared to 55 over 66. The army of Th000 just looks so much larger now, as we see a bit of Stormbolting once again. Even though, I am sure, even though Yumiko has more experience on his heroes right now, the fact that Th000's army is so much larger is going to throw a bit of a wrench into the works. All right, are we going to see a turnaround? So many priests, so many Spellbreakers. Add in a Forest Troll Berserker and also an Ogre Mauler for that frontline damage, and this could be a serious problem. We need to see Militia come in and attack from both sides here. Otherwise, this fight is going to go from bad to worse in a moment's notice. Stormbolt onto the Archmage. Archmage unable to do very much. Tried to drop a Water Elemental, and it just got dispelled within seconds. All right, meanwhile, Yumiko does also have level Adept Training Priest, but not dispelling these Water Elementals. Oh, there you go, another round of Dispel. Yumiko losing more, as we have a Scroll of Town Portal, and Yumiko loses game 2, even though he has the higher score. The army just far too large, the resources just too much, as Yumiko loses 2-0 to Th000. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.